They tried to humiliate a war hero in public, but his quiet response silenced them all. In the heart of a bustling city, where strangers brushed past each other without a second thought, a scene unfolded that would challenge everything you think you know about courage and dignity. Imagine, if you will, a veteran, a man who has weathered the storms of war, who has stood on the front lines to protect the very freedoms we often take for granted. On this ordinary day, he walks through a public park, a place meant for solace and respite, yet unbeknownst to him, danger lurks just beyond the trees. A group of young bullies, emboldened by their own bravado, have spotted him. They see not a hero, but a target, someone they can ridicule for their own amusement. Their laughter rings out, sharp and cruel, a stark contrast to the peace that surrounds them. They taunt him, throwing jabs that cut deeper than they could ever know. They see only the frail exterior, unaware of the strength and resilience that lie beneath. But this isn't just a story of humiliation. It's a tale of silent power. As their jeers echo through the park, something remarkable happens. The veteran, instead of reacting with anger or despair, remains calm. His response is not one of violence or retaliation, but a quiet strength that commands respect. What unfolds next will leave you questioning the true nature of heroism and the impact of our words. This moment is not just about one man standing up against bullying. It reflects a larger narrative about respect, understanding, and the hidden battles that many face. It challenges us to reconsider how we perceive strength and vulnerability in our society. If you find yourself moved by stories of resilience and compassion, take a moment to let us know where you're tuning in from. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Your support helps us bring these important stories to light and ensures that the voices of those who have served are heard and honored. As the veteran stands there, holding his ground against the storm of ridicule, the atmosphere shifts. You can almost feel the tension in the air as bystanders pause to watch, some with sympathy, others with disbelief. What will happen next? How will this man, shaped by the crucible of war, respond to those who seek to diminish his spirit? Stay with us as we delve deeper into this unfolding drama, exploring not just the actions of the bullies, but the profound impact of the veteran's quiet strength. This is a story that resonates beyond the park, a story that speaks to the very core of human dignity and respect. Join us as we reveal what happens next and how one man's response can ripple through a community, inspiring others to stand up for what is right. The narrative continues, exploring the reactions of the bystanders and the inner thoughts of the veteran as he confronts his past and the present moment. As the veteran stands there, steadfast against the tide of mockery, a hush begins to envelop the park. The laughter of the bullies, once loud and raucous, fades into an uneasy silence, as if the weight of the moment has suddenly become too heavy to bear. Bystanders, who mere moments ago were preoccupied with their own lives, now find themselves drawn into this unexpected confrontation. Eyes dart between the veteran and the group of young men, their expressions a mixture of surprise, concern, and intrigue. In that charged atmosphere, one can almost hear the collective heartbeat of the crowd, a rhythm that seems to echo the unspoken question. What will he do? The veteran, a man in his late 60s, stands tall despite the years etched into his face. The lines tell stories of both hardship and triumph. He wears a simple cap with insignia from his time in the service, a badge not just of his past, but of the sacrifices made for the freedom that surrounds them all. With a deep breath, he looks at the bullies, his expression calm and composed. The subtle power he exudes is palpable. He knows, perhaps better than anyone present, that violence and anger would only serve to fuel their cruelty. Instead, he chooses to stand in quiet defiance, a living testament to the idea that true strength often lies in restraint. It is a powerful lesson in emotional resilience, one that many people, regardless of age or background, could learn from. The bullies, momentarily taken aback by his unwavering stance, exchange glances filled with uncertainty. Their bravado, once overflowing, begins to wane as the reality of their actions sinks in. They had expected laughter, perhaps even a fight. What they receive instead is a lesson in dignity. The moment stretches on, thick with tension, as the veteran's silence becomes a powerful statement in itself. Bystanders start to murmur among themselves, some shaking their heads in disbelief at the audacity of the bullies. How could they do that? One elderly woman whispers to her companion, her voice trembling with a mixture of anger and empathy. A young man, perhaps in his 20s, steps closer, compelled by a sense of justice. He has witnessed enough bullying in his life, and something stirs within him, a desire to defend, to protect. As the crowd begins to swell, the atmosphere transforms. It's no longer just a confrontation between one man and a group of bullies. It has morphed into a community rallying around a figure of quiet strength. Many in the crowd are moved by the veteran's stoic demeanor. They recognize the courage it takes to endure ridicule without retaliation. This is not merely an act of defiance. It is a testament to his character, forged in the fires of war, where true heroes often walked away from battles not with weapons drawn, but with wisdom gained. Then, in a moment that seems to shift the very fabric of the scene, the veteran speaks. His voice is steady, carrying the weight of experience, yet it is gentle and inviting. "You know," he begins, "I've faced much worse than this. I've fought in wars where lives were on the line, where courage meant something far different than standing here today. But what I learned in those moments is that the true battle lies in how we treat each other." His words hang in the air, resonating deeply with those who listen. The bullies, once so full of bravado, begin to squirm under the scrutiny of the crowd. The veteran continues, his gaze unwavering. You might think that tearing someone down makes you stronger, but in reality, it only reveals your own insecurities. I hope one day you'll understand the strength it takes to lift others up instead. The impact of his speech is immediate. Some in the crowd nod in agreement, while others take a step back, reflecting on their own behaviors. The bullies, now confronted not just by the veteran but by the collective gaze of the community, seem to shrink before the truth laid bare before them. In that moment, the veteran transforms from a target into a beacon of integrity, illuminating the path of empathy and understanding. The atmosphere shifts again. A ripple of applause begins, tentative at first, but quickly growing into a powerful wave of support from the crowd. It's a moment of shared humanity, a reminder that we are all interconnected and that the actions of one can inspire many. The veteran stands, humbled yet proud, his heart warmed by the unexpected camaraderie of strangers who have rallied around him. As the applause fills the park, the bullies begin to retreat, their bravado evaporating in the face of collective disapproval. They had hoped to assert their dominance, only to find themselves outmatched by the dignity of a man who refused to be diminished by their taunts. It's a powerful lesson for all who witnessed, one that speaks to the responsibility each of us carries in our everyday interactions. In that moment, the park transforms from a mere backdrop to a stage where a profound lesson in humanity unfolds. The veteran, though no longer in the shadows of ridicule, stands illuminated not just by the applause, but by the respect he has earned from those around him. His character, forged in the fires of battle, shines through as a reminder that true heroism often lies not in grand gestures, but in the quiet moments of resilience and compassion. As the crowd begins to disperse, the veteran takes a moment to reflect. There is a sense of bittersweet triumph in his heart. He knows that this encounter, while significant, is but one of many battles, both personal and societal, that continue to rage on. Each day, countless individuals face their own struggles, often alone and in silence. It is his hope that this moment will inspire others to stand tall against bullying and injustice, to speak out when they witness acts of cruelty, and to foster a community built on respect and understanding. This incident has sparked conversations that extend far beyond the park. Those who witnessed it find themselves discussing not just the actions of the bullies, but the broader implications of empathy and kindness in their own lives. The veterans' response resonates within them, a call to action that challenges them to reflect on their own choices and the impact they have on others. As we continue to explore the aftermath of this powerful moment, we delve deeper into the lives of those who were present that day. Their stories intertwine with the veterans, creating a rich tapestry of human experience. Each individual, influenced by the day's events, carries with them the seeds of change, inspired to create a more compassionate world. Stay with us as we journey through these narratives, uncovering the ways in which one man's quiet response has sparked a movement, reminding us all that heroism can manifest in many forms, often in the most unexpected places. As the crowd begins to disperse, the veteran takes a moment to reflect. There is a sense of bittersweet triumph in his heart. He knows that this encounter, while significant, is but one of many battles, both personal and societal, that continue to rage on. Each day, countless individuals face their own struggles, often alone and in silence. It is his hope that this moment will inspire others to stand tall against bullying and injustice, to speak out when they witness acts of cruelty, and to foster a community built on respect and understanding. In the days that follow, the story of the park incident begins to spread. News outlets pick it up, sharing videos and testimonials from witnesses who recount the powerful moment when the veteran stood up against the bullies without raising a fist. Social media platforms are flooded with posts that not only commend the veteran's dignity, but also highlight the importance of kindness and empathy in everyday life. Hashtags such as #StandUpForRespect and #HeroInSilence trend as individuals share their own experiences with bullying and the moments when they chose to stand up or stand by. Among those inspired by the veteran's strength is a young woman named Sarah. A college student studying psychology, she has long been aware of the impact of bullying on mental health. Witnessing the incident in the park ignites a fire within her, prompting her to initiate a campaign at her university aimed at promoting mental wellness and anti-bullying initiatives. She starts organizing workshops and discussions, inviting speakers, including the veteran himself, to share their stories, fostering a dialogue about resilience and compassion. Sarah reflects on how the veteran's response resonated with her own journey. Having faced bullying during her teenage years, she understands the isolation and pain that can accompany such experiences. The veteran's calm demeanor and profound message of empathy not only challenge her, but inspire her to become an advocate for change. She reaches out to him, inviting him to her university to share his story, hoping that his words will empower her peers to embrace kindness and stand against cruelty. Meanwhile, the young man who had stepped closer during the park incident, named David, also finds his life altered by the moment. An aspiring filmmaker, David had always sought to create stories that matter, yet he struggled to find a narrative that truly resonated with him. The park incident becomes the catalyst for his next project, a short film that captures the essence of resilience, courage, and the ripple effect of one individual's quiet strength. He interviews the veteran, capturing his reflections on not just that day, but his entire journey through life, including the battles fought both on and off the battlefield. David's film begins to take shape, intertwining the stories of other individuals who have faced adversity and emerged stronger. He weaves in Sarah's campaign, showcasing how one moment of bravery can inspire countless others to take action. As he shares the film with local film festivals, he hopes to spark conversations about empathy and the impact of bullying, encouraging audiences to reflect on their own actions and how they can contribute to a culture of respect. Back in the park, the veteran often returns to that spot, reflecting on the profound impact of the day's events. He sees the faces of those who stood with him, and he feels a renewed sense of purpose. Having spent years serving his country, fighting for the rights and freedoms of others, he now finds himself in a new battle, one that champions kindness in a world that can often feel harsh and unyielding. He begins volunteering with local organizations focused on youth mentorship, sharing his experiences with younger generations, instilling in them the values of respect, understanding, and the importance of standing up for one another. Through these volunteer efforts, the veteran meets children and teenagers who have faced their own challenges. He listens to their stories, offering guidance and support, sharing his belief that strength comes not from belittling others, but from lifting them up. His quiet yet powerful presence leaves a lasting impression, encouraging them to embrace their own identities and to stand confident in the face of adversity. As the weeks turn into months, the community begins to shift. Conversations about bullying and respect become more commonplace, with schools integrating anti-bullying programs inspired by the veteran's story. Teachers and parents alike engage in discussions about empathy, encouraging children to share their feelings and experiences. The ripple effect of that day in the park is palpable, fostering an environment where kindness is not just encouraged but celebrated. Amidst this wave of change, the veteran reflects on the journey that brought him to this point. He recalls his own experiences in the military, the lessons learned in the heat of battle, lessons that extend far beyond the battlefield. He understands that courage is multifaceted. It is not always about the loudest voice or the strongest fist, but often about the quiet resolve to stand firm in one's beliefs. As the community continues to embrace this new narrative, the veteran receives invitations to share his story at various events. Schools, community centers, and even corporate gatherings reach out, eager to learn from his experience. He speaks to the transformative power of compassion and the importance of standing together against bullying, reminding everyone that everyone has a role to play in creating a more respectful society. In one particularly moving event, he finds himself speaking to a group of veterans. They gather not just to share their military experiences, but to discuss the challenges they face upon returning home. The veteran stands before them, his heart full as he recounts his own journey, the struggles, the triumphs, and the realization that their battles do not end when they hang up their uniforms. "I know what it feels like to be overlooked," he shares, his voice steady yet filled with emotion. "But we have the power to change that. We can be the voice of strength, not just for ourselves, but for those around us." His words resonate deeply, igniting a sense of camaraderie and purpose among those present. They share their own stories of resilience, forming a brotherhood built not just on shared experiences, but on a commitment to support one another and their communities. As the veteran shares his wisdom, he finds that his own healing journey is intertwined with those he speaks to. He realizes that by sharing his story, he is not just empowering others. He is also reclaiming his own narrative, transforming pain into purpose. The act of speaking out becomes a source of strength for him, solidifying his belief in the importance of connection and understanding. In the months that follow, the impact of that day in the park continues to reverberate through the community. The veteran's story becomes a source of inspiration not just locally, but also beyond. Media outlets feature him and Sarah's campaign, showcasing how a single moment of quiet strength can spark a movement, igniting the fires of compassion and understanding in the hearts of many. As the veteran looks back at the journey he has taken since that fateful day, he feels a profound sense of gratitude. The challenges he faced during his time in service have prepared him for this new chapter in life, one where he could harness his experiences to inspire change. He understands that while the world can be filled with darkness, it is also brimming with light, and each of us has a role to play in illuminating the path for others. Through the collective efforts of individuals like Sarah, David, and countless others inspired by the veteran's quiet strength, the narrative continues to evolve. It reminds us that heroism can manifest in many forms, often in the most unexpected places, and that change begins with each of us choosing kindness over cruelty. As we conclude this chapter of a compelling story, we invite you to reflect on your own experiences. How can you be a force for kindness in your community? What stories of resilience and strength inspire you? In a world that often seems divided, let us remember that through compassion and understanding, we can come together to create a brighter future for all. Together, we can stand up for respect, honor the heroes among us, and ensure that every individual feels seen, valued, and uplifted. As we conclude this chapter of a compelling story, we invite you to reflect on your own experiences. How can you be a force for kindness in your community? What stories of resilience and strength inspire you? In a world that often seems divided, let us remember that through compassion and understanding, we can come together to create a brighter future for all. Together, we can stand up for respect, honor the heroes among us, and ensure that every individual feels seen, valued, and uplifted. The veteran's journey serves as a poignant reminder that the fight against bullying and injustice is not just a solitary endeavor, but a collective responsibility. Each of us holds the power to influence those around us, to challenge the status quo, and to foster a culture where empathy reigns supreme. The actions we take today, no matter how small, can have profound effects on the lives of others. In the coming months, the ripple effects of this story will continue to unfold. Schools will implement programs that teach students the importance of kindness and respect, while community groups will host events that encourage open dialogue about bullying and mental health. The veterans' message of resilience will echo through these initiatives, reminding everyone that standing up for one another is a shared duty, essential for creating a harmonious society. As we reflect on the myriad of lives touched by this incident, it's essential to recognize that change often begins with a single act of courage. The veterans' refusal to engage in anger or retaliation serves as a model for how we can respond to negativity in our own lives. It challenges us to rise above the fray, to be the voice of reason and compassion, and to remind others of the strength found in kindness. For those who witnessed the scene unfold in the park, the memory will linger long after the day has passed. They will carry with them the lessons learned that day, discussing it with friends and family, ensuring that the message of respect and understanding is woven into the fabric of their lives. Each conversation has the potential to spark further dialogue, fostering a community that prioritizes kindness and inclusivity. The veteran, now a symbol of quiet strength and resilience, continues to engage with the community, sharing his story and the lessons he has learned. He attends local events, participates in panel discussions, and speaks at schools, always emphasizing the importance of compassion in our daily interactions. His words resonate deeply, encouraging individuals to reflect on their own behaviors and to strive for a culture where everyone feels valued. As the community rallies around this cause, we see the emergence of new leaders, individuals inspired by the veteran's story and resolved to make a difference. They organize workshops, create awareness campaigns, and engage in volunteer work, each action contributing to a larger movement dedicated to fostering respect and understanding. Their efforts demonstrate that while one act of courage can ignite change, it is the collective commitment of many that sustains it. In the years to come, the story of the veteran and the incident in the park will become part of the community's narrative, a reminder that we all have a role to play in shaping a more compassionate world. It will serve as an example for future generations, teaching them the value of empathy, the importance of standing up against bullying, and the profound impact of kindness. As we wrap up this chapter, let's take a moment to remember the power of our words and actions. Each of us has the ability to inspire, uplift, and bring about change. The veteran's quiet response to humiliation reminds us that true strength lies in our capacity for empathy and understanding. It challenges us to be better, to strive for a world where everyone is treated with respect and dignity. So, as you carry this story with you, ask yourself, how will you respond to challenges in your life? How will you stand up for those who may feel powerless? Together, let us continue to write a narrative filled with compassion, resilience, and unwavering support for one another. And remember, your voice matters. If you've been touched by this story, share it with those around you. Let's keep the conversation going and inspire others to join in this noble cause. As we move forward, let's commit to being the change we wish to see in the world. Let's honor the heroes among us, those who stand up for what is right, who choose kindness over cruelty, and who remind us all of the strength found in unity. Together, we can create a future where respect is the norm and every individual feels empowered to share their story. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and we look forward to bringing you more inspiring stories that celebrate the human spirit.